Welcome to Femme Frequency, a Q&A with amazing women in the music industry. We're asking all the burning questions. Today, our guest is Patty PerShayla. Let's get into it. Introduce yourself. What do you do in the music industry?
Hi, I'm Patty PerShayla, and I'm a singer, songwriter, bassist, guitarist, and ukulele player, among many other things in the music industry.
What are some of the tools you use to help you achieve your goals in the music industry?
I cannot say enough about platforms like Patreon and Kickstarter. Patreon specifically funds this space here. This is my office and studio on that side, which you don't see, but I record all of my videos here. I write songs in here. We host bands who sleep in here, and everything I do here is funded by listeners of my music, and they keep me independent, and they're along for the ride. And a lot of times the cover songs that I'm doing and the songs that I'm developing are directly because of them, requests and input. And it's been really great to directly connect to those folks without having to shout through the noise of normal social media.
How do you see the role of women evolving in the music industry?
I've seen a lot more women on the audio side, and I definitely specifically try to collaborate with women wherever I can. I always love to support trans women as well. I'm hoping that they continue taking up space and continue using their voices in our community, and I hope that they feel welcome. When I look at the Grammy nominees for this past year, I think that is a good snapshot of where we're at right now. And I think the more representation we get in there, the more diversity that we have, the better. I'm definitely loving seeing more bands with all women and non-binary folks, and I'm loving seeing more women side artists and engineers.
Okay, do you have like a crazy or like favorite road, tour, or studio story that you want to share?
I think all the craziest stories happen on the road. My band, Patty PerShayla and the Mayhaps, we were playing our first show in Atlanta. As it happens in the industry, I don't want to say we bombed, but it was a dead room. Like we didn't deliver our first time in town, reaching out to people in a way that was effective. There was nobody there. So we felt pretty defeated already. We still played our set, live streamed it, had a good laugh about it. But already with our tail between our legs, we were loading out, and I was in the green room doing a last sweep, and I heard this loud yell and ruckus outside where we had our car. We were loading out, and a bartender at the bar upstairs from where we were playing dumped an ice bucket by mistake onto my drummer as we were loading out. And it was really a spectacular failure. And I learned a lot from that experience. So the first tour that we ever embarked on was very loose, still working, ironing out the kinks, figuring it out. I was doing all of the booking and all the communicating, and I didn't have the right vehicle at the time. So we had a little Volkswagen hatchback, and this thing was not equipped for the road. We were driving through West Virginia, and every time we would go up a hill, it was crawling like 20 miles per hour, depending on how steep. And then we'd go down the hill, and all of a sudden we would catch our momentum, hoping that the downhill was enough to take us back uphill. We were annoying some semis by passing them because we didn't want to hit the brakes. We had momentum, so we wanted to keep it going. But yeah, that was really stressful. It turned a 9-hour drive into like 12 or something like that. Make sure that your car is right before you go out on the road. It is the fourth member of our band.
Is there a specific project of yours close to your heart?
I mean, the cheap answer is to say that they're all close to my heart. Right now, I will say my headspace is more in the singer-songwriter angle of things. So normally with my full band, my guitarist will write the main riff and then kind of arrange a song, and I will just cut and paste and add things and throw lyrics and melody on top, write a bass line, and it's a very collaborative process. Whereas with my solo project, it is just me staring into the void with an acoustic guitar, and then sometimes I yell things. It feels more like a diary entry every time you strip away all of the production of everything else and you're starting with just the song, like just the words and a chord progression. And I'm really excited to see how that develops because I haven't gotten a really good chance to play acoustic songwriter music in the studio, and we're doing the whole thing from home. I'm really proud to be able to produce a whole record at my house and be confident that the quality is going to be there because we have the support, the gear, and the knowledge, and the passion to make it happen.
If you could describe yourself as an artist in one word, what would it be?
Curious. I think my domain is an interesting one because I've lived so many different lives as an artist. I sang background vocals with my dad in like basement jam sessions as a kid. I used to write parody music about Harry Potter when I was a teenager. I used to play piano for church when I was a kid. I have been in a few choirs and musicals and 2 Rush tribute bands, and I've been a sideman. And I feel like my voice is the thing that I've mastered, or I've gotten very close to mastering and understanding. And then all of the instruments that I play are just different personalities and expressions that I can take on at any time. I think just picking up a ukulele, I'm never gonna write like I'm gonna write on a guitar. Even if I'm not making a song with organic, so to speak, instruments like that, I can still go on my computer and type a synth part or a drum part and write something. And I'm always just trying to like push all the buttons and find out how to make the song that's in my head or the sound that's in my head. And I just love throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks.
What are your goals for this year? What are your plans for the future?
Just keep it consistent, trying not to burn myself out. In the past, I've always been a very goal-oriented person, and I still am, but they look so different because the milestones that I've experienced and like, you know, you try to draw a line through how your life is gonna go, no matter what you're doing, and it's gonna zigzag anyway. My goals for this year are to produce and release my solo album, my first solo full-length album. I wanna travel to new places that I've never been. Would love to get out to the West Coast and the Southwest and just the Northwest. I just wanna go west because it's something that we haven't been able to do. And I really want a new touring van. I love my van, but I'm ready for an upgrade. I'm ready for the 2008 model, perhaps. It was a great year. I remember it well.
This last question is one of my favorites. I took it from my favorite podcast, The Downbeat, which is Craig Reynolds' podcast. So he used to do this thing where he would ask his guests to curate their perfect festival. So Patty, I think it's time you curate your perfect festival. Where's it gonna be?
It's gonna be in Michigan. I mean, there's so many amazing festivals in Michigan. That's my home. But I feel like if I ever get to a point where I'm curating a festival, I'm gonna do it all back home. Northern Michigan, just because it's the most beautiful and relaxing part. The UP, the Upper Peninsula, I think would be really cool. And it would be in the fall. I love the fall. It's one of the only times where I'm like not sweating because I'm running around the stage, and I'm not sneezing because things are in bloom.
Who's headlining?
If I could get like Haim or Hart or Brittany Howard, that would be incredible.
How many stages?
I think 2 or 3. I always love festivals where they have 2 main stages, and while one band is performing, the other one's doing a changeover and line check. But then I also love festivals where there's a stage for local up-and-coming acts.
What's the first song on the set list?
A song that I would make sure that somebody, and probably also me, was covering is Celine Dion, It's All Coming Back to Me Now. The song goes hard. That song goes so hard, and I want All Coming Back to Me Now, Celine Dion, manifesting. Someday, I'm gonna cover that at a festival.
Is there a specific outfit in mind that you would wear?
I think as I develop as an artist and get like time and maybe a budget, I would love to just like, maybe something in the vein of David Bowie. So androgynous and glamorous, but maybe a little spooky. Yeah.
My favorite, what's the catering?
Anything with rice and beans, plantains, I am there. Also sushi, tacos, food truck rally, let's do it.
What gear are you bringing?
I love my bass. Hold on, let's take a moment. I mean, I don't really go anywhere without it anymore. This is my beautiful Valenti 5-string bass. It's a jazz bass. And my mentor helped me purchase this. This is the gear. And then if I had to pick an amp, SVT for bass. And I love all of my pedals. Gotta have a YYZ Sans amp. You need some fuzz. Ooh, Vintage Rat. I want to go to this festival. It sounds like a good time.
Thanks, Patty, for being on Femme Frequency.
Thank you so much for having me, and happy International Women's Day. Happy women. Goodbye.
If you enjoyed this Q&A as much as I did, then if you don't already follow JST, you should do that right now, because there's more Femme Frequencies and other incredible stuff happening during Women in Music Month. Peace!